Sam Miller stepped off the transport shuttle and took his first breath of processed air inside the Galactic Academy of Sciences. The air tasted flat and too clean, nothing like Earth's rich atmosphere filled with pollen, dust, and 1,000 natural scents. He adjusted the strap of his simple canvas bag and looked around at his new home for the next 3 years. The arrival terminal buzzed with activity as students from across the galaxy poured in for the new academic term. Sam had never seen so many different species in one place. Some floated rather than walked. Others moved on 6 or 8 legs. A few seemed to shimmer in and out of solid form. A holographic sign flickered above. "Welcome, class of 2276, report to central registration." Sam followed the flow of students, trying not to stare too openly at his new classmates. Earth had only joined the Galactic Federation 8 months ago. He was among the first humans to attend the academy, chosen more for political reasons than his academic record, which was solid but not spectacular. "Excuse me," chirped a small green being with large eyes and delicate wings. "Are you the human student?" "Yes, I'm Sam. Sam Miller. From Earth." The green being's wings fluttered rapidly. "Oh, the Class 12 world, I've heard about Earth. Is it true your planet has liquid water that falls from the sky?" Sam smiled. "Yeah, we call it rain. It happens all the time." Fascinating. And terrifying. The being drifted away before Sam could respond. At registration, a tall, blue-skinned official with 4 arms processed Sam's documentation. The official flinched when checking Sam's planet of origin. "Class 12, Deathworld," the official muttered. "I'll need to input special environmental tolerances for your quarters." The official looked up with large, concerned eyes. "We've never had a student from a Class 12 before. You're our first." Sam shrugged. "Earth isn't so bad once you get used to it." The official stared at him for a long moment. "Remarkable," they whispered before handing Sam his room assignment and student identification. Room 507 in Dormitory Wing C turned out to be larger than Sam expected. One half looked normal enough with a bed and desk. The other half contained what appeared to be a shallow pit filled with glittering sand beneath dim purple lighting. As Sam placed his bag down, a soft chiming sound came from the door. It slid, open to reveal a crystalline being about Sam's height. Light refracted through its semi-transparent body in rainbow patterns. "Greetings, I am Vrix. Classification Crystallis Sentient, from Rigel 4. You must be my assigned roommate." The voice seemed to come from vibrations within the crystal structure itself. "Hi, I'm Sam Miller. From Earth." Vrix went completely still. The rainbow patterns inside its body froze. "Earth? The Class 12 planet?" "That's the one," Sam said with a small smile. I was not informed." Vrix's voice had dropped to a softer vibration. "I have studied deathworlds in theoretical xenobiology. Your planet has active tectonic movement, extreme weather patterns, diverse microbiological organisms, earthquakes, storms, and germs. Yeah, we've got all that. And your species evolved there, naturally." Vrix's body began slowly shifting colors from blue to a pale yellow. Sam nodded. "Born and raised in Chicago. That's one of our bigger cities." "Remarkable," Vrix said, the same word the registration official had used. "You seem so normal." "I am normal," Sam laughed. "For a human." "Of course," Vrix said politely, but Sam noticed the crystalline being maintained extra distance between them. The orientation tour revealed an academy beyond Sam's wildest imagination. Learning centers with technology centuries beyond Earth's capabilities. Recreation areas designed for species from every environment. Food halls that catered to biological needs Sam couldn't begin to comprehend. The tour guide, Professor Xylax, was an 8-limbed arachnoid being with glossy black eyes and a gentle voice. The academy was founded 10,000 years ago to bring together the brightest minds across known space. We currently host students from 342 species representing 189 worlds. "And one Deathworlder," called out a deep voice from the back of the group. Professor Xylax's mandibles clicked softly. Yes, we are honored to welcome our first student from Earth this term. Cultural diversity strengthens us all. Later, in the food hall, Sam studied the ordering system. He pressed the option for Earth-compatible nutrition and waited. A tray slid out containing what looked like a sandwich, an apple, and a cup of water. Simple, but familiar. As he found an empty table, he noticed many students watching him. Some quickly looked away when he met their eyes. Others continued to stare openly with expressions Sam couldn't read on their alien faces. A group of large reptilian students at a nearby table spoke loudly enough for Sam to hear. Look at it. No natural armor. No enhanced strength. How does it survive? I heard they need to consume water daily or they die. Impossible. No species could evolve with such a weakness. Sam took a bite of his sandwich and pretended not to hear. He'd been briefed about this before leaving Earth. Most galactic species evolved on much safer worlds than Earth, with fewer predators, more stable climates, and less environmental variation. They found humans simultaneously fascinating and disturbing. Shadow fell across Sam's table. He looked up to see one of the reptilian students standing over him. The being stood nearly 7 feet tall with iridescent scales and powerful limbs. You are the Earth student, the reptilian said. It wasn't a question. I am. Sam Miller. I am Tarkon, of the Croton Elite Academy, now studying advanced theoretical physics. My homeworld is Class 3, with gravity 1.2 times that of galactic standard. What is Earth's gravity? About 1.1 times galactic standard, Sam said. Tarkon's eyes narrowed. Yet you move as if our gravity here affects you not at all. Sam shrugged. It's not enough difference to bother me. Interesting. Tarkon leaned closer. I find it difficult to believe that your species evolved naturally on a Class 12 world. Such environments typically create only primitive life forms, not spacefaring civilizations. We're full of surprises, Sam said with a smile. Tarkon didn't smile back. We shall see. A proper academic environment requires truth, not diplomatic fictions. As Tarkon walked away, a small flying being zipped down and hovered near Sam's shoulder. Don't mind the Crodans, the being said in a musical voice. I'm Elia. My species communicates through emotional resonance, and I sense you are feeling isolated. A little, Sam admitted. Everything's very different here. Different is wonderful, Elia said, her wings creating a soft hum. I come from an ocean world where we live in complete harmony. No predators, no disease, perfect temperature regulation. Sounds peaceful, Sam said. It is. But also, unchanging. Elia's wings shifted to a deeper blue. That's why I came here. To experience the unexpected. She bobbed in the air excitedly. Perhaps someday you could tell me about Earth. It sounds so exciting and terrifying. Sam smiled, his first genuine smile since arriving. I'd like that, Elia. Though I should warn you, what we consider normal might sound pretty scary to you. Perfect, Elia chimed happily. Scary stories are the best kind. As the Academy's artificial day cycle dimmed toward evening, Sam began to think that maybe, just maybe, he might find his place here among the stars. 1 month into the semester, Sam had settled into a routine at the Galactic Academy. He woke each morning at the standard hour, ate breakfast in the food hall, and attended his classes. He found most subjects challenging. The mathematics and physics were far beyond Earth's current understanding, and galactic history covered thousands of years across hundreds of worlds. But Sam didn't mind the struggle. He had always enjoyed learning new things, and now he was beginning to make friends. Vrix, his crystalline roommate, had slowly grown less afraid of him. Elia, the emotional flyer, often joined him for meals. A few other curious students occasionally sat with them too. Today was physical education class, which all first-year students had to take regardless of their specialization. Sam arrived at the large gymnasium and joined the other students gathering around Coach Grip, a 6-armed blue humanoid with a booming voice. Today we continue endurance training, Coach Grip announced. Each species will work within their evolutionary parameters. Aquatic students to the suspension tanks, low-gravity species to the reduced weight zone, heavy worlders to the strength area. The coach looked at his tablet. Miller, you're our only Earth student. I'm still determining your appropriate exercises. What is your species' typical endurance activity? I usually just go for a run, Sam said. Maybe 3 or 4 miles a few times a week. The gymnasium went completely silent. Even Coach Grip stared at him. You run? The coach finally asked. Continuously? For pleasure? Sure, Sam shrugged. It's good exercise. Can you demonstrate this running? Coach Grip asked, fascination clear in his voice. Sam felt suddenly self-conscious with everyone watching him. Okay, how far should I run? Coach Grip made a gesture Sam had learned meant uncertainty. Perhaps once around the track to start? The oval track surrounding the gymnasium was about a quarter mile. Sam nodded and moved to the starting line. He did a few quick stretches, then began a steady jog. He completed the lap in about 2 minutes, barely breaking a sweat. When he finished, he noticed every student and Coach Grip staring at him with various expressions of amazement, horror, or disbelief. That is remarkable, Coach Grip said, recording something on his tablet. Most species evolved away from running millions of years ago. It's energetically inefficient and creates unnecessary strain. Humans still use it, Sam explained. We can actually run for hours if we're in good shape. Some people run these things called marathons, which are about 26 miles. A collective gasp went through the crowd. Would you be willing to demonstrate some other Earth exercises? Coach Grip asked. Sam showed them jumping jacks, push-ups, and pull-ups. With each demonstration, the other students watched in silence. A few recorded him with their devices. Your species has maintained these primitive movement patterns, Coach Grip noted. Fascinating. Most species specialize physically. The ability to both run and lift and jump suggests unusual evolutionary pressures. Earth has a lot of different environments, Sam explained. We needed to adapt to all of them. Later in the food hall, Sam sat with his tray of Earth-compatible food. Aaliyah floated nearby, and Vrix carefully sat across from him, still maintaining some distance. Sam bit into an apple, enjoying the familiar crunch. He noticed several students at nearby tables watching him eat. Aaliyah zipped closer. Sam, is it true that humans intentionally eat plant defense chemicals for pleasure? Sam thought, for a moment. You mean like spicy food? Yeah, some of us enjoy it. But why? Vrix asked, genuinely puzzled. These compounds evolved specifically to prevent consumption. I guess we like the challenge, Sam said with a smile. On Earth, we put hot sauce on lots of foods. It's a chemical called capsaicin that creates a burning sensation. Your species deliberately causes pain during eating? A new voice joined the conversation. Sam looked up to see a delicate plant-like being with purple-tinged leaves. They looked horrified. It's not exactly pain, Sam tried to explain. More like intensity. Some humans really enjoy it. The plant being shuddered visibly and moved away. You are full of contradictions, Vrix observed. Your physical capabilities suggest a predator species, yet your social behavior indicates cooperative evolution. Before Sam could respond, Tarkhan approached the table with 2 other Krodan students. Earth human, Tarkhan said formally. I have been observing your physical demonstrations. I would like to challenge you to a simulation contest. Sam blinked in surprise. A simulation? The Academy maintains virtual combat training facilities, Tarkhan explained. It would be educational to test your Deathworld capabilities against proper combat training. Sam didn't like Tarkhan's tone, but he also didn't want to back down. Sure, why not? Sounds fun. Tarkhan's reptilian face showed no expression. Tomorrow, after final classes, the main simulation chamber. After Tarkhan left, Elia's wings turned a worried shade of yellow. Sam, the Krodans train in combat simulations every day. It's part of their cultural identity. It's just a game, right? Sam asked. Vrix made a sound like tinkling glass that Sam had learned was their version of nervous laughter. Combat simulations are a major social event here. Many students will attend to watch. Sam groaned. Great. I didn't know I was setting myself up for a public performance. The next day after classes, Sam found the simulation chamber packed with students. An instructor explained the rules to him. The neural interface will create a realistic environment. Your physical movements here translate to actions in the simulation. The objective is to locate and capture the opponent's flag while defending your own. Non-lethal combat is permitted. Sam nodded as the instructor fitted a light headset over his ears. Any special rules I should know about? The environment adapts to challenge both competitors equally, the instructor said. And there's a safety protocol that prevents simulated injuries from causing actual psychological distress. Sam took his position on one side of the chamber as Tarkhan stood at the other. The lights dimmed, and suddenly Sam found himself in a dense forest. Trees towered above him and undergrowth covered the ground. In the distance, he could hear water running. This looked nothing like the perfectly controlled environments of the academy. This looked like Earth. Sam grinned. The simulation had created a wilderness environment to challenge Tarkhan, not realizing this was exactly the kind of place Sam had spent his childhood exploring. He moved quietly through the forest, listening for sounds of his opponent. Years of hiking back home had taught him how to move silently through underbrush. He located the stream he had heard and followed it uphill, reasoning that higher ground would give him an advantage. Twice he spotted movement and froze, letting Tarkhan pass without noticing him. The Croton moved with disciplined precision but seemed uncomfortable in the wild setting. Sam finally spotted a red flag fluttering on a rock outcropping. As he approached, Tarkhan sprang from hiding. The Croton moved with incredible speed, his scaled body a blur of motion. Sam ducked and rolled, relying on instincts developed during childhood roughhousing and school sports. He wasn't trained in combat, but he knew how to take a fall, how to scramble away, how to use terrain to his advantage. Their contest lasted nearly 15 minutes, with Sam using the environment and his natural agility to compensate for Tarkhan's superior training. In the end, Tarkhan managed to pin Sam against a boulder and claim victory. When the simulation ended, Sam found himself back in the chamber with Tarkhan standing over him, breathing hard. Good match, Sam said, extending his hand in the earth gesture of sportsmanship. Tarkhan looked confused by the outstretched hand, but then carefully took it in his scaled grip. You have no combat training, yet you adapted to each situation with unusual effectiveness. Just making it up as I went along, Sam admitted with a smile. The watching students erupted in excited chatter. Sam noticed many looking at him with new interest and respect. As they left the simulation chamber, a small student with iridescent fur approached Sam. Hello, I am Lily, studying xenobiology. Would you permit me to interview you about Earth survival techniques for my research project? Sam nodded, somewhat surprised. Sure, I'd be happy to help. As they walked away together, Sam realized something important had changed. He was no longer just a curiosity from a Deathworld. He was becoming someone worth knowing. The weeks following the simulation contest brought many changes for Sam. Students who had once avoided him now approached with curious questions. Lily, the xenobiology student, invited him to join her study group. Even Vrix finally stopped maintaining a safety distance. Sam, would you help us understand this ecosystem problem? Lily asked one evening in the library. Her iridescent fur rippled as she pointed to the holographic display showing a complex web of plants and animals. Sam, Lily, Vrix, Elia, and 2 other students had gathered around a study table. The assignment asked them to identify why a particular planet's ecosystem was failing. I'm not sure I understand all the alien species, Sam admitted, studying the hologram. But you understand systems, Vrix noted. You see connections others miss. Sam leaned forward and traced his finger through the hologram. On Earth, we have similar problems when invasive species disrupt established patterns. Look here. This small creature has no natural predators, so it's consuming too many of these plant things, which means these larger animals don't have enough food. The others watched as Sam worked through the problem step by step. Earth's harsh conditions had taught humans to observe patterns, to think about how everything connected. "Remarkable," Lily said when he finished. "You solved it using practical observation, rather than theoretical models." Later that night, back in their room, Brix asked Sam about Earth's ecosystems. "Were there many dangerous animals where you lived? In Chicago?" "Not really," Sam said. "But when I was 10, my family went camping in Wyoming, and we saw bears and wolves from a safe distance," he added, seeing Brix's crystalline body change to a worried orange color. "You intentionally went to areas with predator species? For recreation?" Brix asked. "Sure. It's called camping. Lots of humans do it on weekends, or vacations. We sleep in tents, cook food over fires, hike through forests or mountains. Sleep? Outdoors? Without environmental controls?" Brix's color shifted to a deep purple of disbelief. Sam laughed. "That's the whole point, getting away from technology and experiencing nature directly." Brix made a tinkling sound. "Would you tell me more about these camping trips?" Sam shared stories about swimming in cold mountain lakes, getting caught in sudden rainstorms, and seeing the Milky Way far from city lights. He described how his dad taught him to build a fire, how his sister made everyone laugh with ghost stories, how they once had to quickly pack up when a moose wandered into their campsite. He didn't think these stories were particularly interesting, just normal childhood memories, but Brix listened with what seemed like fascinated horror. The next evening, Sam returned to his room to find Brix waiting with Lily, Elia, and several students he didn't know well. "Sam," Brix greeted him, "I shared your camping stories with Lily, and she asked if you would tell more about Earth. I hope this is acceptable." Sam looked at the expectant faces. Sure. What do you want to know about?" "Tell us about Earth weather," suggested a cloud-like being hovering near the ceiling. "Well, it changes a lot," Sam began. "In Chicago, we have 4 seasons. Summers can get really hot, over 100 degrees Fahrenheit sometimes." "Your body can withstand such temperature variation?" asked a small green student with large eyes. "That's nothing," Sam said. "In winter, it can drop below 0 and we get snow, frozen water that falls from the sky. Sometimes so much that it covers cars and blocks doors." The room filled with murmurs of disbelief. "And you survive this?" Lily asked, recording his words. On her device. "We wear warmer clothes, heat our buildings, it's not a big deal," Sam said with a shrug. "The worst is when we get thunderstorms in summer. Lightning, high winds, sometimes tornadoes." "What is a tornado?" asked a silver-skinned student. Sam described the destructive funnel clouds, pulling up images on his tablet to show them. The aliens stared in horror. "And humans continue to live in these areas?" Brix asked. "You don't relocate your cities? We build stronger buildings, create warning systems, have emergency plans," Sam explained. "Humans adapt to our environment, rather than requiring the environment to adapt to us." Their questions continued for hours. What diseases did Earth have? How did humans treat injuries? What dangerous plants existed? With each answer, Sam noticed their expressions of shock, fascination, and sometimes disbelief. Word spread about these Earth sessions. The next evening, twice as many students appeared at Sam's door. The night after, they had to move to a small lecture room to fit everyone. Sam didn't understand why his stories captivated them so much. He talked about ordinary things, breaking his arm falling from a tree as a child, getting food poisoning from bad sushi, weathering a blizzard during a power outage, encountering a rattlesnake while hiking. To him, these were just normal parts of life on Earth. To his alien audience, they were tales of unimaginable danger and resilience. One evening after a particularly large gathering, a new human student approached Sam. He was taller than Sam, with broad shoulders and a confident stride. "Quite the celebrity, aren't you?" the newcomer said with a smile. "I'm Nathan Reyes, just transferred in from the Earth Diplomatic Corps." "Sam Miller," Sam replied, shaking Nathan's hand. "Nice to meet another human." "Likewise. Mind if we talk privately?" When the others had left, Nathan sat across from Sam. "You know what you're doing, right? These stories about Earth?" "Just answering their questions," Sam said, puzzled by Nathan's serious tone. "You're shaping their perception of our entire species," Nathan said. "The Federation only recently discovered Earth. Most species are still figuring out what to make of us. And that's bad?" Nathan's smile returned. "Not necessarily. In fact, I think it's brilliant. The scary Deathworlder angle gives humans a unique position. Other species will think twice before messing with Earth if they believe we're all super tough. Survivors," Sam frowned. "I'm not trying to scare anyone, I'm just being honest. And that honesty is our best diplomatic tool," Nathan said, standing. "Keep telling your stories, Sam. Just be aware of the impact they're having." After Nathan left, Sam sat thinking about their conversation. He hadn't considered the bigger picture. He was just one student trying to make friends, but perhaps he represented something larger to the galactic community. The next morning, Professor Xylax asked Sam to stay after xenobiology class. "Mr. Miller, your academic performance has improved significantly," the professor said, mandibles clicking softly. "Your solution to the ecosystem collapse problem showed unusual insight." "Thank you, Professor. However, I am concerned about these informal Earth information sessions you've been conducting," Xylax continued. "Some students are developing an unhealthy fascination with Earth's dangerous elements." "I'm just answering questions about my home," Sam said. Professor Xylax studied him with all 8 eyes. "Perhaps. But remember that knowledge shapes perception, and perception shapes policy. The Federation is still evaluating Earth's role in galactic society." As Sam left the classroom, he wondered if sharing simple stories about Earth was more important than he had realized. 2 months into the semester, the academy fell into a comfortable routine for Sam. His classes no longer seemed impossible, just very challenging. His circle of friends had grown, and even Tarkon now nodded respectfully when they passed in hallways. Sam and Nathan often ate lunch together, comparing notes on their Earth experiences and discussing the strange new world of galactic politics they found themselves in. "Notice how they installed new emergency systems after you mentioned Earth earthquake protocols?" Nathan said, pointing to the recently added safety panels along the corridor walls. Sam nodded. "Professor Xylax told me they're updating academy safety measures based on human disaster preparedness models. We're changing things just by being here," Nathan said with a smile, "making them think differently about risk and survival." Their conversation was interrupted by a sudden flashing light and a calm voice over the academy's communication system. "Attention all students and staff. A Class 3 solar flare has been detected from the local star. Standard protective measures are being implemented. Please proceed calmly to your designated safe areas." Students around them began moving quickly toward the intersections of the academy. Sam noticed many showed signs of stress, color changes, rapid breathing, nervous movements. "Is a solar flare really that dangerous here?" Sam asked a passing staff member. "The academy's shields will prevent radiation exposure," the staff member explained, "but systems may experience disruption. For many species, even minor environmental fluctuations can be harmful." Sam and Nathan followed the crowd to a large central hall where students gathered in species-specific groups. Teachers moved among them, offering reassurance. "Humans," called Professor Xylax, waving them over with one of his 8 limbs. "Please join the emergency response team. Your environmental adaptability may prove useful." They followed the professor to a control room where several staff members monitored displays showing the academy's systems. "The flare is stronger than predicted," said Chief Engineer Plex, a squat being with 6 eyes and metal-like skin. "We're seeing power fluctuations in the outer sections." "Which sections?" Professor Xylax asked, mandibles clicking with concern. "Dormitory. Wing C and surrounding areas. Environmental controls are failing." Sam felt a jolt of worry. "That's my wing. Vrix is there. They're highly sensitive to temperature changes." The displays suddenly flashed red as alarms began to sound. "Multiple system failures in Wing C," Engineer Plex reported. "Temperature rising quickly, atmosphere mixing between different environmental zones. We need to evacuate any remaining students, Professor Zylax said, but our maintenance drones cannot function in these conditions. I'll go, Sam said immediately. Nathan stepped forward, too. We can handle temperature changes better than most species. Professor Zylax studied them briefly. Very well, but exercise extreme caution. Take emergency respiration devices and communication units. Sam and Nathan quickly equipped themselves with the offered gear, small devices that attached behind their ears and would provide breathable air if needed. Environmental readings in Wing C show temperatures exceeding 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Engineer Plex warned. Oxygen levels dropping as filtering systems fail. That's hot but not deadly for us, Sam assured them. We can handle it. They moved quickly through increasingly warm corridors. The usual perfect lighting flickered and some sections had gone dark. Emergency lights cast an eerie red glow. Check rooms systematically, Nathan suggested. I'll take the right side, you take left. Sam nodded and began opening doors, calling out for any students who might be inside. Most rooms were empty, their occupants safely evacuated to the central areas. When he reached his own room, Sam found the door jammed partially open. Inside, the temperature had risen dramatically. The air felt thick and difficult to breathe. In the dim emergency lighting, he could see Vrix's crystalline form on the floor of their special habitat area. Vrix, Sam called, rushing over. His roommate's usually clear crystal body had clouded over and developed fracture lines across the surface. Sam! Vrix's voice came weakly, vibrations barely audible. Thermal. Shock. Cannot move. Sam keyed his communication unit. Found Vrix in our room. They're in bad shape. Some kind of thermal stress. Crystallis sentience cannot tolerate rapid temperature changes, came Professor Zylax's voice. Their molecular structure begins to fracture. How do I help them? Sam asked, kneeling beside his friend. They must be gradually returned to their optimal temperature range, but the environmental controls are offline. Sam thought quickly. What about the cooling packs from the medical kits? Could those help? Potentially, but you would need many of them, applied gradually in the correct pattern. I'll find some, Sam promised. He turned to Vrix. Hang on, I'm going to get help. In the hallway, he found Nathan helping a plant-like student whose leaves had begun to wilt in the heat. Emergency medical station 2 corridors over, Nathan told him. They should have cooling equipment. Sam sprinted through the increasingly hostile environment. His lungs burned from the thinning air and sweat poured from his body in the rising heat. He activated the respiration device behind his ear, which helped with breathing but did nothing for the temperature. At the medical station, he grabbed as many cooling packs as he could carry and turned to head back. Suddenly, a loud cracking sound echoed through the corridor and part of the ceiling collapsed ahead of him, blocking his path back to Vrix. Without hesitation, Sam looked for an alternative route. He remembered the Academy's layout from orientation tours. If he couldn't go through the main corridor, he would need to go around through the utility tunnels. He found an access panel and pulled it open, revealing a narrow maintenance tunnel. Clutching the cooling packs, he crawled through the confined space. The heat here was even worse, and warning lights flashed on equipment panels. When he emerged 2 junctions away from his room, he found Tarkhan attempting to force open a stuck door. The Luminar student Lyra is trapped inside, Tarkhan explained, scales glistening with moisture in the heat. The door mechanism has fused. Let me help, Sam said. Together they leveraged their weight against the door until it slid open halfway, allowing a small glowing student to slip through. My roommate Vrix needs help too, Sam told Tarkhan. Their crystal structure is fracturing from the heat. 2. Sam's surprised, Tarkhan immediately followed him to help. When they reached Sam's room, they found Vrix's condition had worsened. The fracture lines had deepened and their glow had dimmed considerably. Working together, Sam and Tarkhan carefully placed cooling packs around Vrix's form, following Professor Zylax's instructions over the communication link. The pattern must precisely balance the thermal reduction, the professor explained. Too fast and the sudden change will shatter them. Sam's hands were steady despite the circumstances. Growing up, he had helped his mother, a nurse, practice emergency procedures. He knew how to stay calm in a crisis. As they worked, 3 more students appeared at the door. Nathan had brought Lily and Elia to help. Engineering team reports 10 minutes until systems are restored, Nathan informed them. Vrix might not have 10 minutes, Sam said, noticing new fractures forming despite their efforts. Lily stepped forward. My species can absorb heat through our fur. Perhaps we can help moderate the temperature directly. For the next several minutes, they worked as a team, Lily absorbing excess heat, Sam and Tarkon adjusting cooling packs, Elia monitoring Vrix's condition through her emotional sensitivity, and Nathan coordinating with the emergency team. Slowly, Vrix's crystal structure began to stabilize. The fractures stopped spreading and their natural luminescence strengthened slightly. It's working, Sam said, relief evident in his voice. Just then, the regular lights flickered back on and a gentle hum indicated the environmental systems were coming back online. Cool air began flowing through the vents. Primary systems restored, announced the Academy's communication system. All students please remain in safe areas until full assessment is complete. As the temperature gradually normalized, Vrix's crystalline body began to clear, the cloudy stress patterns fading. You saved me, Vrix said weakly. All of you. Tarkon looked at Sam with new respect. Your crisis response was impressive. Not just strength, but problem-solving under pressure. Sam shook his head. It wasn't just me. It was all of us working together. Later, in the medical center where Vrix and other affected students recovered, Professor Xylax approached Sam. The Academy owes you and Nathan a debt of gratitude, the professor said. Your ability to function in crisis conditions saved lives. Today, Sam nodded modestly. On Earth, we learn to handle emergencies from an early age. It's part of life on a death world. Professor Xylax's eyes studied him thoughtfully. Perhaps what makes Earth dangerous also makes humans uniquely valuable to the galactic community. For the first time, Sam felt truly at home among the stars. News of the crisis and the humans' role in saving their fellow students spread quickly through the Academy. In the days that followed, Sam noticed a change in how others looked at him. The fear remained, but now there was respect mixed with it, and genuine curiosity. Professor Xylax called Sam and Nathan to his office a week after the solar flare incident. They found the 8-limbed administrator sitting behind his desk with several other faculty members present. The Academy Board has been discussing the events of last week, Professor Xylax began, his mandibles clicking softly. Your actions during the emergency have prompted us to reconsider several policies regarding Earth and human integration into galactic society. Sam and Nathan exchanged glances. We would like you to give a formal presentation about Earth and human adaptations, Professor Xylax continued. Not just stories shared in dormitory rooms, but an official academic symposium for the entire Academy population. What exactly would you like us to cover? Nathan asked. Everything, said a tall, willowy being that Sam recognized as the Dean of Sciences. Your planet's environments, your species' physical and psychological adaptations, your methods of survival and crisis management. The Galactic Federation needs to better understand humans, Professor Xylax added. Your informal stories have created much interest, but now we need structured knowledge. Sam nodded slowly. I'd be happy to help, but I'm not an expert on all aspects of Earth. We don't expect you to be, Professor Xylax assured him. Just share what you know from your perspective. Your personal experiences have already proven valuable. For the next 2 weeks, Sam and Nathan worked on their presentation. They pulled images and data from Earth's information files, organized their personal stories into relevant categories, and practiced explaining concepts that seemed obvious to them but were alien to others. Vrix, fully recovered from the crisis, helped them understand which aspects of Earth would seem most shocking to non-humans. You must explain why you value challenge and difficulty, Vrix suggested, their crystalline form glowing a thoughtful blue. This is perhaps the most puzzling aspect of humans to other species. On the day of the symposium, the Academy's largest lecture hall was filled to capacity. Students and faculty from every species had come to learn about the mysterious Deathworld and its surprising inhabitants. Sam felt nervous as he approached the podium, but seeing his friends in the audience, Vrix, Lily, Elia, and even Tarkon, gave him confidence. "Thank you all for coming," Sam began. "Today, Nathan and I want to share with you the truth about Earth, not just as a death world, but as our home." The presentation began with images of Earth's diverse environments, from peaceful meadows to violent storms, from serene forests to active volcanoes. "Earth is a planet of contrasts," Sam explained. "What makes it dangerous also makes it beautiful and full of life." He described how humans had evolved not to dominate their environment but to adapt to its constant changes. How Earth's challenging conditions had pushed humans to develop problem-solving skills rather than specialized biological adaptations. Nathan covered human medical advances, explaining how diseases had forced humans to develop sophisticated healthcare and emergency response systems. "Humans don't just survive our world," Nathan said. "We learn from every challenge it presents." When they opened the floor for questions, dozens of students raised hands, tentacles, or other appendages. "Is it true humans can regrow damaged body parts?" asked a multi-segmented student. Sam shook his head. "Not entirely. We can heal from cuts and broken bones, and our liver can partially regenerate, but we can't regrow limbs like some Earth animals can." "How do humans remain psychologically stable in such dangerous conditions?" asked another student. Sam thought for a moment. "I think it's because we have each other. Humans are social creatures. We developed strong bonds of cooperation and empathy, because on a death world, we needed to protect each other to survive." This answer caused a wave of murmurs through the audience. "So your harsh environment promoted care for others rather than individual survival?" Professor Zylax asked, sounding surprised. "Exactly," Sam said. "On Earth, the most successful human societies were those where people helped each other through dangers and hardships." As the questions continued, Sam realized something important was happening. The other species weren't just learning about Earth, they were reconsidering what it meant to evolve on a challenging world. Perhaps hardship didn't just create tough survivors but also promoted cooperation, innovation, and compassion. After the formal symposium ended, many students approached Sam and Nathan to continue the conversation. Tarkon pushed through the crowd to reach them. "I must apologize," the Croton said formally. "When you first arrived, I believed humans were either fraudulently claiming to be from a Class 12 world or were primitive savages who had somehow gained space travel." "And now?" Sam asked. "Now I see that Earth's conditions created something unique, a species that embraces challenges rather than avoids them." Tarkon straightened to his full impressive height. "I have proposed to my home academy that we establish an exchange program between Croton warriors and human explorers. We have much to learn from each other." Later that evening, Sam's friends gathered in his room for a small celebration. Vrix had arranged for Earth-style drinks and snacks, though most aliens merely watched in amazement as the humans consumed them. "The Academy Board was most impressed with your presentation," Lily told them, her fur rippling with pleased colors. "They've approved funding for a new Earth Studies department." "Earth Studies?" Sam laughed. "What exactly would that cover?" "Everything," Elia said, her wings creating excited patterns in the air. "Adapting human emergency protocols for different species. Studying Earth ecosystems as models for planetary rehabilitation. Applying human problem-solving methods to galactic challenges." Sam shook his head in wonder. "When I came here, I thought I'd just be learning from all of you. I never expected to be teaching. The most valuable exchange of knowledge goes both ways," Vrix said wisely. A notification chimed on Sam's tablet. He checked it and his eyes widened. "What is it?" Nathan asked. "A message from the Earth Embassy," Sam said. 5 more human students have been approved to join the Academy next semester. They're asking if I'd help prepare for their arrival." "The first of many, I suspect," Vrix said. "Your death world has much to offer the galaxy." As his friends discussed plans for welcoming the new humans, Sam looked around the room. Here were beings from across the galaxy, different biologies, Different evolutionary paths, different ways of thinking, all brought together by curiosity and friendship. Perhaps that was the greatest lesson Earth had to offer, that differences could be bridges rather than barriers, that hardship could connect rather than divide, and that stories from even the harshest worlds could inspire hope rather than fear. Sam Miller, ordinary human from a not-so-ordinary planet, had found his place among the stars, and in doing so, he had helped his Deathworld find its place in the galaxy too.